Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Have you ever felt as though, the tears that you shed in a particular situation because of maybe some type of hardship or burden that you're feeling in your heart, you feel as though those tears might be shed in vain, as though they aren't really accomplishing anything, especially as you continue in that sorrow for a very lengthy season? Well, hopefully we'll receive some encouragement in Psalm 56 and verse 8 as we see some things about God in connection to our tears that should encourage us. It says there, "You have taken account of my wanderings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book?" This verse is very instructive as it tells us how God responds to the tears that we shed in connection to the sufferings that we face. For one, it shows us that God knows what we're going through. He takes account of our wanderings. He puts his tears, or puts our tears, in his bottle, and he writes them in his book. And that shows that he's aware of what we're going through. Maybe sometimes we feel as though we're overlooked. Maybe with our loved ones, maybe they don't really understand what we're going through, or the people that we come into contact with, they don't really understand why we might be so distraught over a particular situation, and they may not really realize the weight that that situation has on our hearts. But God knows. God sees the tears that we shed, and so much so that he's able to take an account of them by putting them in his bottle and then also writing them in his book. And so this shows us that God knows what we're going through. He knows those quiet moments when we shed tears in silence as we wrestle with the hardships and the trials of life. And that should encourage us. But he not only knows, but he also cares. The fact that he would go through the trouble of putting the tears in his bottle and then also writing them in his book shows that he cares about the sufferings and the tears that we shed in connection to the trials of this life. It's not that he knows about it, but then doesn't care and is flippant about it and kind of just goes on about his business. But he's actually watching and he's taking account of the tears that we shed, which indicates that he cares about what we're going through. But this also indicates that God intends to do something about it. He is going to do something about the sorrows that we share. He's not going to forget about them. If you are putting something in a bottle, containing it, preserving it in a bottle, or you're writing it down in a book, that indicates that you are being very intentional about not forgetting about that particular thing. And that seems to be inferred here in the text, that God is intending to not forget with the intention of doing something about it. Otherwise, why would he be so intentional in writing it down and putting in our bottles if he doesn't have, or putting it in his bottle, if he doesn't intend to do anything about it? This implies that God does intend to do something about the trials, the hardships, the sufferings that we endure. And so that should give us hope. It should give us encouragement that this God that we serve is a God who is not distant, who is not, he doesn't just overlook the sorrows that we face, but he knows about them. And he not only knows about them, he cares enough about them to take account of them, that he doesn't forget about them, and then actually is planning to do something about it, that he has redemption in mind in the particular situation that we are facing. And so this should give us great encouragement when it comes to those times when we are suffering and when we might think that our tears are wasted, that they're not doing any good, they're not really moving heaven or moving God to action. We can take courage and know that our tears do account for something, and that God knows about them, he cares about them, he's not going to forget about them, and he's going to do something about them in his own time. And so let's be encouraged by Psalm 56 and verse 8. And let's be encouraged to just keep on keeping on, knowing that God is there for us and that he will neither leave us nor forsake us, even in the most dark times of life. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the videos today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.